John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
Hello there, my name is John Ulzheimer. I am a consumer credit expert. I've been in the credit industry since 1991, so this is my 30th year. I've spent time at Equifax, which is one of the 3 generally recognized credit reporting agencies, and I have also worked for FICO, which obviously is the company that designed and developed the FICO credit scoring system. So today's question that I'm going to address is actually a really good one. It has to do with the structure of credit reports. And the question specifically is, what else beside accounts are on a credit report, and what of those items are actually scoreable attributes? And so in other words, what of those things actually are considered or may be considered by a credit scoring system? And so in order to answer this, I'm going to have to go to my vertical whiteboard. So there are 5, I guess, important sections of a credit report, even though there are actually more that are kind of immaterial, kind of inside information that's specific more so to the credit reporting agency than it is to external information regarding the consumer. So these 5 areas are really the areas that are important to you, the consumer, and to your credit score. So obviously you're going to have the personal information. Some people refer to this as the PII, the personally identifying information. This is going to be where your name, your address, your date of birth, your former addresses, any name variations, like if you're married and you changed your name, that's where this is going to go, date of birth, social. This type of information is important because it helps the credit reporting agencies to connect you with information in their credit file database. And so they actually use matching logic to actually associate you with information that they have in their credit file database. Next is going to be public records. So as of the date that I'm recording this video, which is early 2021, there is only one public record that appears in the public records section of a credit report, and that is our good old friend, the bankruptcy. There was a time several years ago, and actually for many decades prior, where civil judgments and tax liens were also picked up by the credit reporting agencies. But as of early 2021, and actually since mid-2018, civil judgments and tax liens were no longer picked up by the credit reporting agencies, and they were systemically purged from consumers' credit reports. And so now the only public record that you're going to see in the public records section of a credit report is going to be a bankruptcy, and you can have a Chapter 7 bankruptcy or a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. So it's going to be the bankruptcies that consumers can file, no business bankruptcies. And by the way, if you don't have any bankruptcies, this section of your credit report is going to be empty. Next, you have the third-party collection account section. Actually, it's a good idea that I clarify that. Third party. In other words, you had a debt with someone, say for example, a doctor's office or maybe an apartment complex, and you defaulted on your obligation, and the original creditor outsourced it to a third-party collection agency, and they are now reporting it to your credit reports. Obviously, if you don't have any collections, this section is going to be empty. Next is going to be the section that makes up the bulk of the information on your credit report. It's called trade, and that's kind of an industry term. That's industry nomenclature. Trade is really the accounts that you have with different creditors. And so your American Express card, your Discover card, your Wells Fargo mortgage, your Joe's Credit Union auto loan, your student loan information that's being reported by servicers. That's all falls under a broad category called trade. Some people refer to them as trade lines. It's really the same thing, trade or trade lines. But these are essentially the accounts that appear on your credit reports. Next is going to be inquiries. And an inquiry it's very simple. It's simply the record of who pulled your credit report and on what date. And there are 2 types of inquiries that appear on your credit report, soft and hard. Okay? So this essentially makes up the bulk of the information on your credit report. And this is the important information as it is. So which of this information can be factored into your credit score? Well, go ahead and eliminate this one right out of the gate. Your personal information is never factored into your credit score. Credit scores don't care what your name is, they don't care where you live, they don't care what your date of birth is, and they don't care what your social security number is. Next, public records. To the extent that you have public records on your credit report, they are absolutely considered in credit scoring systems, and public records are never considered good. They're always considered to be a derogatory entry, all right? Because if you think about the public records, bankruptcies, civil judgments, liens, these are the public records that have traditionally been on credit reports. They all indicate something went wrong. Either you didn't pay your taxes, you had to file bankruptcy to protect yourself from creditors, or you were sued and you lost in court and now there's a judgment rendered against you. Collection accounts, absolutely, they are scored attributes. There are some exceptions. In the newer credit scoring systems, collections that have a $0 balance are ignored, and medical collections are also discounted, not ignored, but discounted as to their value in your score. And so it's not as simple as just saying that all collection accounts are treated equally. That would be incorrect to suggest that. Trade information, obviously your accounts are going to be considered in your credit score. The age of your accounts, the balances of your accounts, whether or not you're making payments on those accounts, if you're defaulting on those accounts, all that information is considered in credit scores. Inquiries. The subject of an inquiry always cracks me up because people like to obsess about inquiries, even though they're like the least important factor in your credit score. In both FICO and VantageScore's credit scoring systems, so people love to obsess about inquiries. First off, soft inquiries never ever counted in your credit score. In fact, no one can even see them except for you, the consumer, when you pull a copy of your own credit report. Hard inquiries might be considered. It would be incorrect to say kind of unilaterally that, or universally, that all hard inquiries can lower your credit score, because that would be flat out incorrect. Some inquiries may affect your credit score, some inquiries may not. And if there are hard inquiries that are greater than 12 months old, they absolutely will not affect your credit score, because all credit scoring systems, FICO, VantageScore, ignore inquiries that are older than 12 months. So there you have it. Inquiries are a maybe, but as long as they're less than 12 months old. Trade, absolutely, as long as it's on the credit report. Third-party collection accounts, with some exceptions. Public records, but obviously the only public record that's relevant in today's credit scoring world is the bankruptcy. Personal information, absolutely never. So there you have it. That's the information that makes up the bulk of the credit report and how it's considered by scoring systems. If you have any comments, please leave them in the section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.